Arizona is in 8. Annie Boos of Cal in 9. Chloe Arriaga of UC Davis in 10. Emma Tavella of UCLA in 11. Bree Oakley of Cal in 12. Kaifu Bohannon of San Jose State in 13. Margie Cullen of Cal in 14. Sarah Osterberg of Cal in 15. And a handful of athletes running unattached or for their clubs. Holly Clark runs in 16. Lizzie Roundtree goes in 17. And once again, we have a bit of a jump to hip number 23, Maya Weigel, and number 24 rounding out the field. You mentioned Allie Cash in this field. Already starting to string out.
Yeah, they're getting right to it. That was 35 seconds for that first 200. So right at 70-second pace out of the gate. So I'm sure it'll settle down just a tick. But a group of 4 there right from the front.
Donahue taking it out.
And you got Maya Weigel there, the Peninsula Distance Club, actually right at the front right now. And I don't know if she might be doing some pacing or if she's in there to go. Maya Weigel's a good post-collegiate runner there. Trains with Dina Evans, who's a former Stanford coach here in the South Bay. And so she's at the front right now. But, yeah, Ella Donaghu tucked in right behind her.
So already we have a front group of 4. As we see the top 2 that we mentioned, Donahue and Herberg back there in 3 and 4.
And then I think that's Allie Cash sitting there right in second, and that's another open athlete. Allie Cash, All-American at the University of Oregon. Now she's helping out as an assistant coach up at the University of Washington. So I'm sure she's done some training there with Herberg, so that's a familiar face in that front pack.
And a former teammate of Katie Rainsberger as well over at Oregon. So 11 to go, that first pack of 4, about 15-plus meters on the rest of the field, who seem content to settle in to their own pack. We've lost a few off the back as well, but we're really going to be keeping an eye on that front pack. And as you mentioned, they really seem content right now in that position. We are not aware of any particular pacing duties. Again, it can be tough sometimes when we're not sure, but Weigel's up front there, and everybody seems content to be tucked in behind.
Yeah, and she's running 77 on the last couple laps there. So, that's right around low 16-minute pace. It looks like that chase pack led by Jenks of Stanford, Lucy Jenks. They're running right around 79-80, so that's going to be like a 16:30, 16:40 pace, just to kind of give you some framework of what we're looking at here in terms of our groups.
One of the things that we talked about and will continue to mention is that nobody really knows what year anybody is. So we're doing our best. We're trying to go off of TFER's lists and entries and all that, but it can be a little tough, of course, with the last few years to really see who's what year. Again, with indoors and outdoors, with last year, what counts, what doesn't. So it really is going to depend, but what we know is who's running against who right now. And again, that front pack of 4 comes through 312 or so. The only collegians up front are Donahue and Herberg. And Jenks, as you said, I believe still leading that chase pack. Jenks, a freshman, is what got me started off on that rant.
That's actually Naomi Smith there from Washington that's just moved to the front of that chase pack, and she ran about a 78 to get to the front of that group. So she's trying to keep that group honest, maybe in that 16:20 to 16:30 range. The front group, Cash bringing them through, or Weigel bringing them through in just about 77. So pretty honest, looks like the plan is to try to break 16 today, maybe low 16s for that front group. It's interesting. That's should be pretty comfortable for everybody in that group. Donahue's run 4:11 for 1,500 meters, 8:54. So this is, she's definitely coming off of an All-American cross-country season where she led the Cardinal to a third-place finish at the NCAA Cross Country Championship. So she's in form right now. That's what's interesting about this time of year, being kind of coming. It's an early season track race, but they're coming off of championship racing. And Herberg and Donahue, those two just really had a great battle, as I mentioned before, at the Pac-12 championships. Herberg was really aggressive early in that race, got a big lead, 20 seconds, and then Donahue just kind of kept chipping away, almost reeled her in, and Herberg held her off at the end. So that was an exciting race, and it's fun to kind of see them kind of wage battle here again on the track.
Yeah, as you see Weigel there going wide, she was the D3 All-American at Pomona-Pitzer, and she's from just down the street here, Los Altos, California. So she will slide out to the side, and we'll have 3 remaining in that front group. It'll be Cash along with Donahue and Herberg.
So it picked up quite a bit. They were like 74, 75 on that last lap. So they're moving along really good.
I might be getting ahead of myself. Sorry, I might be getting ahead of myself saying that she's peeling off. She went a little wide, so maybe there was some pre-planned lap swapping. Yeah, we'll see if she actually is going to continue as well, or if they're just trading laps. Either way, we're gearing up for a hot second half of this 5K here. And it's about 50 meters plus the lead now to that front pack.
Smith's still leading that chase pack. She's a true frosh. Already made her mark for the Huskies this year in cross country.
75 on that lap there for the front pack.
She was a part of their national championship cross country team. So the cupboard is full for Maritza Powell at University of Washington. And Herberg actually, interestingly in this event, this December, she ran in the track meet. It was a sound track meet down in Southern California, not in an official capacity for the University of Washington, but with the uncertainty of everything, she went out and ran. She ran 15:40 in this event. So she is, ready to rock in this race. And so I expect this pace to be, well within her ability right now. Allie Cash, great All-American at the University of Oregon, now post-collegiately. She has a best of 16 flat in this event. So everybody in this group, is kind of hunting not just NCAA marks, but, they're Olympic trials level runners.
Trying to get to that next level for sure. 15:20, the U.S. Olympic trials qualifying standard. Not necessarily going to be reaching for that tonight, but something to keep in mind, as you said, on some of the open athletes as well as some of the top collegiates. So 7 laps to go, and it's all the top 4. There's still a chase pack, as you mentioned, coming
starting
through
to kind
here.
of break up there. Looks like Smith, Jenks, and Connolly.
Right, as they continue to string out even further. Again, the lead, as you can see from the wide shot, is about 60 meters or so, but they haven't really fallen off. So again, Weigel going wide, and unless she's faking me out again, I think maybe she will. Well, she might have faked me out again, Scott. I don't know.
Well, they're doing great. She's doing great work. Her and there.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if she was doing an Ezekiel Kembo mid-race. They're going out to lane 8. So
she did a great job keeping them on, and that was 75 for that last lap, and now Cash is kind of taking over. So yeah, they're rolling. It's picked up quite a bit. So they're starting to make their way. We're looking at definitely under 16 minutes at this point, as we're just hit the halfway point.
8 minutes there, Allie Cash.
Yeah. So as they get in the back half of this race, Cash doing the work, Herberg right in her pocket, and Donahue shadowing her. So they all look comfortable.
6 laps remaining as Donahue still just stalking in the back of that now 3-woman pack behind Herberg and Cash, and we expect that it'll be a barn burn in the last few laps, and we've seen them go head-to-head multiple times, as you mentioned. And in that chase pack still, it's Smith, it is Naomi Smith, and I believe Connolly of Stanford that's leading that chase pack as it stands right now. They're whittling down as well. Looks like about 60, 70 meters back, with another 10 meters back to a chase pack of 2. So we will still keep an eye on that back pack as much as we can. But there you go. You see that lead almost up to 100 meters now for those top
75.
3, but still staying really tight in that top 3.
Another 75. So they are just cooking along. And, Donahue looks great in third. And this is, it's all that she's done in the sport. A 5-time All-American. Been a great 1,500-meter runner, as I said, 4:11. She's broken 9 for 3K. This is her first ever 5K, and there she goes. She just slid by Herberg, trying to stay on Cash, because it looks like Cash is really kind of putting it on them, and Donahue's making sure that gap doesn't form.
Cash
and Herberg trying to keep contact as well.
So they are spreading out a touch in the front pack. Their top 3 is...
That was fastest lap, 74. So Cash is not messing around.
Winding it up still. Cash looking strong. Long stride.
This is a key moment here for Herberg. You can see a little bit of space starting to you're starting to see there. Donahue obviously is very strong, moved around her and is right on Cash. We'll see if Herberg can hang in there.
Herberg trying to stay connected in the back of that pack there. And again, we don't have any insider info. You wonder if maybe Cash was a pacer as well, and there she goes. So Donahue now has just a couple of steps and a couple of meters on her rival, Herberg, who looks like a bit more pained than she has throughout much of this race. And with just over 10, 20 elapsed, she'll be looking to hang on to the back of Donahue, but it looks to me Donahue's looking strong.
Yeah, this is the battle we had at Pac-12s up there at Chambers Bay in cross country just about a month ago, and it was Herberg putting it on Donahue. Now Donahue is flipping the script here today in her first ever 5,000 meters, and she is looking really good right now.
Now, I like to say that the truth is in the face. Now, sometimes we can get faked out a little bit by some runners that maybe look like they're working a little harder than they are, but I think that Donahue looks much more comfortable right now than Herberg.
So this second pack that's approaching the finish line now is running right at 77, 78. So that's going to put them like at 6:20-ish pace. That's Jenks, Smith, Starn, and Connolly. And that group, that's going to give them a shot to be NCAA qualifiers, I think, at that pace. So let's keep an eye on that group.
Donahue now is stretching out that lead about 11 and a half minutes into this thing, and she passes the 150 mark there on the track coming in. But Donahue really just bided her time perfectly. Took behind the pacers, and then Herberg just couldn't hang.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I wouldn't call it yet because, you can always put yourself out of the fire, but Donahue looks really, really good. Herberg is holding on by maybe a thread at this point of keeping, within her, general rain shadow at this point to see if she can bring her back with 2 laps or 3 to go here.
Yeah, it's about 5 seconds plus or minus, and I just think that Donahue looks very, very comfortable.
And the thing about Donahue is, she's got 4:11, 1500 speed. So any late race, you expect anything late race is going to be, into her favor. So at this point, if Herberg, but I mean, Herberg, if nothing else, is running a great race. It's going to be an awesome time for her. But this group of Smith, Jenks, and Connolly is doing really well. They're all young, they're all frosh. And kind of that next generation of Pac-12 talent right there on display.
Well, and that's what's going to be great this evening when we look back at this meet probably, and then, a year or two, we're going to see a lot of the maybe not fully breakout performances, but we're going to see some of the buds flowering of the young Pac-12 talent, as you mentioned. So you still see Donahue there really just putting it on at this point with just a couple of laps to go.
Let's see kind of this look with 2 to go. She's coming up, going to be right around 13:15 with 2 to go.
Herberg now, yeah, she's got.
So she's going to be right around 15:45 potentially, and Herberg's going to be just under 16 flat if she can stay with it.
She's about 40 meters back.
And this next group is running really well. I mean, they are moving nicely. Jenks, Smith, and Connolly. Jenks and Connolly, 2 Massachusetts runner from Massachusetts for Stanford. Jenks is actually an interesting story. Tons of room for growth in the sport. She's really new to the sport. She was a soccer player in high school, didn't really take up running until her senior year, and still went on to win a bunch of Massachusetts state championship in that final year. So she's got a lot of meat on the bone to really grow in the sport, and she's doing awesome today. We'll kind of keep an eye on her in that second pack there.
Donahue coming into the home stretch you see there for the penultimate time as she will be chasing down the bell lap here just under 100 meters now.
And Herberg at the top of the turn. And then that group is got tractor beams on Herberg. We got to keep an eye on that. They may bring her back.
14:29 for Donahue at the bell, and as you said, we'll keep an eye on Herberg in the back. I think
she's probably okay, but she's working.
But she's in no man's land, chasing down a couple of lap runners, but we got to keep an eye on Donahue there in the front. She's got number 1 on her hip for a reason, coming in as at least the co-favorite, if not the favorite, and she is just done a perfect job of timing her push from 4 or 5 laps out after the pace setters dropped off and went right past Herbert, and she's looking to finish this thing up strong.
She's got a shot to break 15:40.
Still tall up on those toes, the compact
really well.
figure of Donahue trying to power home now with 150 meters to go, and she just seems to be getting faster, passing lap runners now. Keep an eye on that clock. 15, 19, 20 into the home stretch. So that's Donahue, and amazingly, her stride opening up even more. She just looks so comfortable. She is working hard. She's training, but her form has not suffered at all. Wow, speeding up into the finish line, 15:36 and change. What a run from Ella Donaghu.
66.9 for her last circuit. That is an unbelievable finish for her. She is definitely etched her name at the top of that NCAA list. And the rest of the country is going to take note of that.
You may have heard the announcer there mention it, but that puts her towards the top of the descending order list. And again, we're not sure about the other meets going on, but that would currently put her with that 15:36 in the second position so far for the outdoor season. So what a run from Ella Donaghu, and that really portends well for the rest of her season.
Jenks at 16:06, a monster last lap, 67 for Jenks. Like I said, she is just scratching the surface of how good she could be. A freshman from Massachusetts, like I said, new to the sport, and she was just biding her time in that second pack and unloaded a 67 last lap to go 16:06. So Coach Clark's crew looking really good there with another 16:14 there. You can see for Connolly in 5th. Naomi Smith, really nice run for her, 16:13 for that trio that was working really well together. 16:22 for Clark, Starnes, 16:31. Those are really good runs. That's your typical Stanford April run right there. Calm conditions, and the track just yields some great marks in events like this.
Yeah, getting one in the bank and then just letting that kind of start off your season for the rest of the year, just giving you a base to go off of. And like you said, kind of calibrating. I like that word, calibrating the conference list, calibrating the national list. Again, maybe not as much of an impact on a lasting impact, let's say, on the national list as we'll see over the next few weeks. But again, credit where it's due as Donahue slides into that second position.